Ladies and gentlemen, in the British Army are men and women from all walks of life. For in Britain, as in America, all men and women know that not until Hitlerism walks out of our lives forever can we go back to our little shops and flower gardens and the quiet of the countryside. From such men and women have come the sons who push Rommel back across 1,500 miles of desert sand and whose spirit will push on to Berlin. In all great democracies, the Army is but an image of the people, hard-working, hard-fighting, and holding firm to those things dear to the people. Thus, in the fighting arm of the USA, there's a high place for the music of free men, and we offer it tonight to the free and fighting men of Britain. Here's the Army Air Forces Orchestra under the direction of Major Eddie Dunstedter playing Stairway to the Stars. That was the Army Air Forces Orchestra joining command performance in this international salute to the British Army. It seems that when you sit down to write in your request to command performance, there's a little mental telepathy going on between you and your friends in such whistle stops as Melbourne, Johannesburg, Chongqing, Cairo, Rio de Janeiro, and so on. The common idea being to bring on the girl who can give a guy ideas in any language. With her army of admirers, she was a sure bet for British Army Week. Fellas, here with a medley of her famous song hits, your Brazilian bombshell, Carmen Miranda.
Já de vamos de bambu bambu bam, jolly bumble 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 lele, jolly bumble 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 I like it, beta três vezes bambu bambu la bam. Ali bambu 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 bambu, ali bambu bambu lele, ali bambu bambu la quero ver se você bambu lele. Eu vi papi papani papadeira e outro papi papostado de uma papa de fubá. Papo pipa papa amarela no papo de papi papa que papo lá na mapa. Quando eu disse papai que papi papai um papai vim desmaio porque papai era papão. Eu fiquei como um papo no meu estava quando escuto papagaio ele dizer papapagão. Jolly bambu de bambu bambu bam, jolly bambu de bambu bambu lele, jolly bambu de bambu bambu lá quero ver três vezes bambu lá bam. Ali bambu de bambu bambu bambu, ali bambu de bambu lele, ali bambu de bambu lá quero ver três vezes bambu lá. Eu vi papi papani papadeira e outro papi papostado de uma papa de fubá. Papo pipa papa amarela no papo de papi papi que papo lá na mapa. Quando eu disse papai que papi papai meu papai vim desmaio porque papai era papão. Eu fiquei como um papo no meu estava quando escuto papagaio ele dizer papapagão. Que se cobrou o capeta de uma capa que se trepe na garupa do capeta capataz. Porque ninguém possa ver o papo pipa papo não tá embaixo. Eu lhe bambu de bambu bambu bam, eu lhe bambu de bambu bambu lelé, eu lhe bambu de bambu lalá, quero ver três vezes bambu lá. Vai! Ali bambu de bambu lelé, ali bambu de bambu lalá, quero ver três vezes bambu lá. Bambu.
Thank you, Carmen, Miranda. Next, fellas, for Sergeant Frank Evans in the Royal Australian Air Force, somewhere in the middle of Middle Egypt, for Bill Westhuizen in the South African Air Force, for the Girls Training Corps at Fairways, for the stalwart men of the Merchant Marine, for Tommy Hind on a Canadian Corvette, for you guys who run the nightly bomb service to Germany and occupied Europe, here's the lad who gets first call whenever you think of American music. Hollywood's answer to the well-dressed man, Bing Crosby.
Thank you, fellas. And hi, you slope snoot. What's buzzing?
What's buzzing? Bing,
Yes,
that's
what's
no
buzzing?
greeting for this show going right to the British soldiers. This is going to England and the British Isles. Come, old boy. We'll try it again. And here he is now, that young man who's making an old man out of the stork, Bing Crosby.
Thank you. Pip, pip, cheerio, top hole, old bean, and all that sort of rot. You all?
What's that, you all?
Well, Bob, you're not going to leave out the southern part of England, are you?
Oh, perish the thought. Say, that's a nice combination you're wearing tonight.
You like this?
What's that, an AC coat with DC pants? What is that?
What is that you're wearing? Are you alone in there, or are you dancing with somebody?
Stick around. That coat may come back in style. But you know, Bing, the way you dress, I can't understand why Paramount always lets you win the girl in our road pictures.
Why do you say that, fatter than me?
Well, I just can't understand why they give the romantic role to an elderly man like you instead of a boy like me.
Elderly man. Well, I hope. I'm such a callow youth that I just missed being eligible for the draft by 2 months.
Yeah, it must have been wonderful back in 1917. But I'm only kidding, Bing. You do all right. I notice you're pretty popular with the women.
Well, I have had some minor successes. Shared the ride.
Let's leave your children out of this, huh?
But, Bob, tell me, when you come out of work at Paramount Studio, when you leave the studio there, do the girls chase you along the street?
Oh, it's about even. Say, but... Really, Cross, you know, the reason you do so well with girls is that you look so healthy. That's what I need, health. Tell me, 5 by 10, what do you think I ought to do? What do you think I ought to do about building myself up?
How about cutting down your nose a little?
Oh. Well,
You ever thought of playing golf?
Well, that's silly. I was out for 18 holes with you this afternoon. You saw what I can do.
Yes. You ever thought of playing golf? No, I'm only fooling. Really, I'm only fooling, Highhorn.
But, Claus, tell me frankly, do
Huh?
you ever think I can be an expert golfer?
Anybody can be an expert golfer, Bob. All you'd have to have are 4 things.
4 things. What are they?
Well, you'd have to drive the way Gene Sarazen does. 2, you'd have to approach the way Hagen does. 3, you'd have to putt the way Bobby Jones does.
And what's the 4th thing?
You'd have to keep score the way you do.